transformation of Nigeria. So you are a transformation ambassador of Nigeria.
Let us lay aside our differences and think about Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. CAN, for one vision, Nigeria.
His candidature cuts across all divides of Rivers State. For those riverine, we see him as a riverine man and see him as a rivers man. And same thing for those from upland. And considering where we are today, we believe that such dichotomies are absolutely unnecessary. We have therefore, in coming to this decision, been clear as to what Rivers people want, and what they want is a visionary leader, and we see that leadership in the person of Ezebunwo Nyesom Wike.
The expression of interest form and the nomination form on behalf of your people, the Rivers people, and please run for the governorship of Rivers State.
I want to say that having come this afternoon and knowing that you are fully committed, I will not hesitate but to say that I accept I accept the call on me to vie for the position of the governor of Rivers State under the People's Democratic Party.
All right, if you're just joining us, we're starting the discussions fully now. Let's climb this tree properly from ground to top. That appears to be the top, but that appears to be the latest development as regards the politics in Rivers State. But then let me quickly introduce my guest. That's if you weren't part of it from beginning. It's a special edition today. Chief Barrister Nyesom Wike is joining us for these discussions. Immediate past Minister of State for Education, at the point coordinating Minister for Education, supervising. You weren't coordinating, you were supervising Minister for Education. Well, maybe we should hear from him, PDP governorship aspirant in Rivers State, at least from what we saw there.
Very much.
Was anybody in doubt that you were going to run in the first place?
Yes, so many were in doubt that I was going to run. So many people have carried a lot of rumors that I was not going to run, that the authorities would tell me not to run, I would not resign. So when I resigned, I think they realized that their permutations were completely not correct.
Those people must be politically naive, because you have left nobody in doubt all this while that succeeding Governor Amici is your ambition.
No, that is not correct.
At least in the last 1 or 2 years.
No, that is not correct. That's certainly not correct. You see, events try to unfold, and you watch how the events go by, and recently a lot of things happened that had to convince me that really I should run. So it is not as if I've had an ambition all along to succeed Governor Amechi. That is not correct.
Okay. All right, we'll come back to all of this shortly. For the fact that you were not the one that actually picked the form, that's also something very significant. I noticed some faces there. These are people who are supposed to be leaders of the PDP from the same areas where we hear that there are also opposition to you. And I wonder if there's opposition to you from these places. How come the leaders from those places are the ones also, so to say now, urging you to run? But we'll come back to all of that. Let's start from your relationship how it all started in Rivers State. You were Chief of Staff to Governor Amechi, then you became Director General of his campaign organization. You became minister. The belief is that he nominated you to be minister and all of that. So you enjoyed a cordial relationship. But how did the relationship get to the point it is today?
Well, Ben, thank you very much for asking that question. But let me take you back before the issue of Chief of Staff, before the issue of DG of campaign, and thereafter that of ministerial appointment. You are aware of what happened in Rivers State, 2006 to 2007, when we had the primaries of PDP.
Saga.
Yes, so I was in fact, I can also tell you, I was the chairman of council then. I was the chairman of Obiakbo local government, and I was the one who was the rallying point for his nomination. In fact, in that exercise, I was the agent. If you have a clip of that, you will find out that I was the agent, and I was the one who signed the primary result. So thereafter, the things that happened, and so he traveled out to Ghana. And this is how you know those you can trust in life. He traveled to Ghana and everything was centered on me. There was no pressure that did not come to me to abandon that. A lot of pressures came, a lot of offers came. For me, it is not fair. Somebody believed in you. Somebody believed that you can do this work for him. Somebody believed that no matter the pressure that will come, you will not sell out. And that is when you begin to determine who actually is somebody you can trust. It's only when there's a period of crisis. It's not when there's a period of enjoyment, people are like, no, that is not the period. It's when you have problem, you can now know that whom actually can I trust that will not betray me. So he was in Ghana. In fact, I now led how the whole war about him coming back. So it will convince you that if I wanted to sell out, if I wanted to make sure that that ambition was not realized, I would have done it. But for me, it is not fair. I give you my word and I stand by it. So thereafter, the appointment of Chief of Staff, it was because I stood firm. It was because I knew everything that happened, and therefore the government needed also a strong character to be the engine room of the government. So I was the Chief of Staff. But of course, as you know, in politics, a lot of things will come in. Within 1 year, we started having problems. It is not as if when I became a minister, it's not correct. It's not correct. Because you find yourself in a situation where people will not begin to sell certain ideas to the man you are working with. Hey, this guy is very powerful. Why not do this and why not do that? And if you're not a careful person, you may buy in. And which was what actually happened. That there is the need, if you want to have a successor, without anybody stopping you, there is the need for this young man to be pushed away from the state.
Okay.
And so, and how do you push him away from the state? Let him go and be a minister. So having been a minister, your influence in the state would be reduced. So it was not as if it was a promotion for me. No. Rather, it was a strategy to make me not to be more influential, to make me to lose base of the people at home. So that is.
But did he discuss it with you?
Never.
He didn't tell you he was nominating you for minister?
Never.
Yes.
Never.
But the account the governor has given several times,
yes,
is to the fact that there were actually pressure on him to nominate somebody else to be minister, and he said no, which meant that he must have probably discussed the idea with you that, see, Chief of Staff, I'm nominating you to be minister. The president has asked me to nominate somebody else, because he has also given account that they actually suggested a different name to him. He said no and insisted on you, and that was why 2 ministers had to come from Rivers.
But I can tell you the truth. There are 10 people. They nominated 10 people.
Okay.
I was the second person in the list.
10 names.
Yes. Okay. I was the second person. After put aside the first person in that list, Toeko was the 3rd person. So I was the second person. Now, I said it, he never discussed this with me. But I can tell you too, it would have been impossible for you to just say, Why he said he wouldn't have anybody as chief of staff again in government house. He took that decision that we're going to scrabble the office of chief of staff. 2, I was the DG of the campaign. Now, what are you going to do? There's no more office of chief of staff, which I've also said I was not going to occupy again. I've already said that. Because having seen what has happened, it will no longer be conducive for me to work in an environment of hostility. And so, I was to run for Senate. At that minute, he came up and said, look, I don't want you to run for Senate. Choose whatever you want to be. I said, no. The only thing I want to be is to go to Senate. And if I'm not going to go to Senate, I also not be chief of staff. So there was a problem.
But you still accepted to be his DG, the DG of his campaign organization.
If I accepted.
You still accepted to be the DG of
course, I accepted.
His re-election.
No, yes, I accepted. After they denied me the opportunity of going to Senate. So I became the DG. That even DG, everybody saw what happened, how I ran that campaign. It became a problem for me. How?
How? Yeah.
Look at the way this young man ran this campaign. Look at the influence he's wearing. He's known. People admire the way he carries out this campaign. You have to be careful that people don't longer know him as a governor. They see him as a governor.
Yeah.
So they come to him, tell him all sort of stories. Of course, sometimes, like I said, if you are not careful,
you will buy something.
You will buy it, and that will cause a lot of problems for you.
But both of you enjoyed a long-standing relationship. You are from the same local government, probably villages apart.
No, we are not from the same local government. We are from the same senatorial district.
So the same senatorial district.
Yes.
Yeah, but you are not too far apart in terms of distance in that same local government, and for that relationship, rekindle that relationship, and for the fact that he also entrusted, because if he didn't want to win re-election, he wouldn't have saddled you with the campaign. He trusted you enough to saddle you with that responsibility.
He needed a capable hand to do that work.
Okay.
He needed somebody who had the capacity. And if you were in Port Harcourt and witnessed the way the campaign was run, you would know that this man has the capacity. And I could go to a local government and tell the local government, those that matter in that local government, these are their wards. And that we expect that in this ward, for example, we expect that we should win. Therefore, we are not saying local government vote. We want you as the leader. If you don't win your ward, even if you have won the local government, you cannot claim that you made us to win the local government because you've lost in your own ward. Don't use other people's vote to say we have won. So everybody was so happy the way the campaign was run. But like I said, even when you are doing this, some people are not happy. And they try to bring in bad blood, and it happened. Now, to tell you something, when the election was over, Chief Awuse came to me, because I was the person who went to Chief Awuse, went to Austin Opera, and a lot of them, convinced them, listen, if you say you are working for Mr. President to win election under PDP, there's no need in you not also working for PDP in the state. But if Mr. President wins and you lead the state, what can you say? Yeah. What would you tell people outside that, oh, you can't deliver a state? I brought all of them in, and they agreed to work with us, and which they did. Now, after the election, the first shocker that came to me was Chief Awuse came to me and said, listen, you have published, you have submitted names of the transition committee members. I said, who is giving you all these fake stories? Where do you think that will happen without me, first of all, as the chief of staff? No. Secondly, as the DG of that campaign, how will I not know? He went and brought a newspaper and showed me the committee members. That was the first shocker to me. I said, hey, something is going on. I went to him.
You went to the governor?
Yes.
Okay.
What is happening? We just finished the election, and you have constituted transition committee members. No nomination for me, not even being aware that so thing is taking place. He said, must you know everything? That was the first shocker. The second shocker came when the appointed commissioners, he called a meeting that each local government should submit 5 names for appointment of commissioners, and that if your name is not there, then he will not take you. So if you are going to lobby, go to a local government and lobby and make sure your name is there included.
First, yeah.
Out of the 23 local government, the only local government out of the 5 names that were submitted, even the man who nominated his own brother, I was in my hotel room, the man was with me, we were having some drinks, the man got a call that he should attend the screening for commission. The man said, which commissioner? I said, what is going on? He said they called him now to attend screening House of Assembly tomorrow. I said, okay. Of the 23 local governments, it was only my own local government, out of the 5 names that were submitted, that no one person was taken. I said, what is going on? I went back to the governor. What is going on? He said, oh, well, I shouldn't bother that the man is his friend. I said, but you would have called me to give you that confidence, to even put the man's name in that list. So at the end of it, even though you choose the man, nobody will aware. But how would it be out of the 23 local government? It's only my own local government
that nobody
that will nominate will be. I saw the whole thing and I laughed. I said, hey, these guys are up to something. So it is not that as I came as a minister that when all this one knows, it's not correct. It has started, and as a politician you see it. And I can even tell you, even becoming a minister, I know what happened. You can nominate me, they can send my name to SSS, and SSS may write a dummy report. And what happened in my own case? Can the governor nominate you, and then there will be a dummy report from the state security in your own state? It's not possible, but we'll have to over it. But here today, I was the minister, I just left. So you as a human being, you may be planning this, but God has a different plan.
Okay, but if you also look at it from a different perspective, wouldn't it be that the governor was still trying to be true to that friendship when he noticed that, well, the relationship between the two of you were becoming strained, rather than just allow it to continue like that? Okay, let me elevate you to something else where the friction will be reduced.
Okay, can I even tell you when you say elevation?
Yeah, if you instead of doing nothing, because you have already said senatorial thing had already gone.
It will be difficult. It will be difficult. It will be difficult at that time.
You had said you didn't want to be chief of staff.
I said so.
And then senatorial seat had already been filled.
It would have been difficult.
So there was nowhere to go.
Because at my position then, it would have been very, very difficult. In fact, for him, sending me away, it would make
his
transition. Yes. DG of campaign. What was the lobby for me as a minister? And the person that never even campaigned, that never even followed us, was my minister. Yes, you could say yes, it is the presidential prerogative. We agree, but we know what happened under. Now, as a minister, it is believed that you no longer wear that kind of influence you used to wear as the chief of staff in the state. Therefore, let him go. But reverse became the different thing, because becoming a minister of state and education, I never left my constituency.
Okay. Could it also be that the influence that you wielded in the government was too much, and is there any iota of truth at all in the allegation against you that this ambition that you are manifesting now had started since then, and all you were doing was actually using the government to advance that pursuit?
Okay. I had an influence when he was not the governor. Was not correct? I was the one who was running about the whole thing when he was in Ghana. So I had influence. Even before he went to Ghana, all meetings are being held in my house. I was the person coordinating. And I can claim with all authority, that this issue of ambition, like you said, has not been there. The point is that people will come to you and say, look, this man is very influential. This man may not want to support who you will bring as a governor tomorrow. Yeah. Therefore, why not send him out so his influence will be watered down?
Okay. All right, let's leave that issue. You became minister. Education. Let's look at your tenure in education. Your first portfolio, your primary portfolio, was Minister of State for Education. And we must give it to you that Nigerians saw a whole lot of changes in that direction. The Almajiri School, for instance. Let's talk about your tour of duty in the Ministry of Education. Maybe from the Almajiri School.
Yes. First of all, as the Minister of State for Education, then my responsibility had to do with basic education. And of course, that is where we have had a very serious issue of problem. And you have to talk about out-of-school children who are roaming about the streets, who are not who are not going to school, or who do not have access to basic education. You also had a problem of gender, in a sense that girls not also having access to basic education in some part of the country. And you also have people who are dropouts, who just leave school, focus trading. And so it was a problem for this country that we must have to do something to reduce, if not entirely eliminate, the number of people who are out-of-school children. So it was a matter of time, Mr. President, something has to be done. In fact, I remember in 2010 when Mr. President was campaigning, I think it was in Sokoto, he made this pledge that one thing he was going to do, that if Nigeria gives him the mandate, he would make sure that these are our children who are roaming about the streets, who are not having access to basic education, will be given education. And so, by the statistics, we have a higher percentage, or not less than 90% of these people who are out of school are in the north, particularly these Almajiris. So it became a serious issue for us to focus on. And Mr. President said, this must have to be done. Like I said, it is not the responsibility of the federal government to run primary education. It is the responsibility of states and local government. But knowing the importance and the security challenges allowing these children to be running about the states, the federal government had to directly now intervene so as to support whatever steps or efforts that the states are making. So we decided that every year we have to build not less than 100 of these Almajiri schools. And we came and had a memorandum of understanding between the states, the federal government, and the traditional rulers. I remember that Sultan of Sokoto signed on behalf of the traditional rulers. I also remember that I think it was the governor who signed on behalf of the governors. Now, our own was to build, equip it, and hand over to the states, because not our duty to run primary education. So the state's duty to employ teachers and try as a form of incentives in order to keep the children in the school by providing free meals. For federal government through UBEC to provide free textbooks, uniform, and equip the schools, which was what we were doing. And as I speak to you, as at the last time before I resigned, I know that the first symbolic commissioning was done by Mr. President, represented by the Vice President, which was done in Bauchi State. So as I speak to you, I know that not less than 200 to 250 of those schools have been built and equipped. Okay. So it is something that was very passionate. And I remember there was a time I traveled to Adamawa State and I visited the Lamido of Adamawa. He made one fundamental statement which touched me. He said, listen, this problem of the Almajiris has been there for the past 30 years. And it took somebody from the creeks. So now what touched me, of course, what touched me was the statement that no government, I repeat, have been able, not even tackling it the way this government is doing, that for the first time you have seen a government that has made a promise and has actually come to actualize those promises made. So that is the first time that the president is not from that part of the country, but look at his commitment, look at his passion, fulfilling that promise which he made in 2010. So for us, you can do that well because your boss is committed, your boss is giving you the necessary support. And it also helped me. I don't know any part of this country today, particularly in the north, that I've not been to. I don't know that because it made me to travel virtually all parts of the north and to see the problems myself, the first-hand information. So I was happy the way we drove that program, the kind of passion everybody had in driving that program. We did not only end at that, we also gave attention to girl child education. In fact, I do know that we went to Zamfara for advocacy, talking to the women and the traditional rulers why they should allow the girls to go to school, why they should not, why they should stop, allowing forcing them to get married at very early age without education, telling them the importance of education. We know there are certain religious, traditional factors that may inhibit them. So what the government did to assure them that, look, it is not going to affect their religious beliefs or whatever, we can now build special model girls schools so these girls can go and also employ female teachers if you think that having the men teaching them will be a kind of conflict with their religious beliefs.
Yes.
So we did that, and I can tell you, so many states in the north, they have such schools. And as we finish, we hand over to the states. Again, there's one passion I can tell you. You know the essence of unity colleges, that the federal government colleges. Before now, it was dead. Out of the 104 unity colleges we have today, if I did not visit, I visited, say, 84 of those schools. And I went to see things for myself. There I found out that even the teachers are contract teachers, employed by Parent Teachers Association, paid how much in a month? 10,000 naira. Not less than 1,355 of those numbers. And I wrote to Mr. President, why are we then crying that the standard of education is poor? Why are we then crying that the rate of performance in the public exam is low? Why would it not be low? There are no teachers. In fact, I found out that from JSS 1, in some of the schools, from JSS 1 to SSS 3, you have only one mathematics teacher. How possible will it be? So we made a memo to Mr. President, and Mr. President instantly approved for the recruitment of mathematics and science teachers. And also, these other casual teachers that have been there, they should be employed, those of them who are qualified. I went to the schools, no libraries. I said, how can we perform when students cannot have where they can go and make references? So I make sure that through UBEC, that we built libraries furnished with e-facilities. Today, as I speak to you, if we have 70 of that, then I'm being very conservative. But it gives me the joy. And when we came, the percentage of students in public exams having 5 credits, including mathematics and English, 15%. Today, what is the percentage? We have gone up to 40%. We are not saying that we have done fantastically well, no. But we are saying that, judging from 15% when we came to now 40%, having 5 subjects credit in English and mathematics, I think that you can see the progress being made. It is not like you constructing road. It's not like you building 20 stories for people to see. It entails you have to train and retrain the teacher. And this impact will not just come up overnight. So for me today, I feel so satisfied that Mr. President gave me that support to drive that area, particularly the basic education.
Through the efforts of that time, we also got to know that probably funding may not actually be the real problem for primary education. Because I cannot understand why state governments, for example, we have monies running into billions of naira in UBEC, and they cannot, or they are not making effort to access it. At least through your efforts that time, we got to know that.
Well, there was this aggressive campaign and advocacy. Listen, you are allowing these banks to make more money.
Yes.
This money is not supposed to
lie there, follow in the
This
bank.
money is supposed to be used to improve the infrastructure you have in the school and build more, so that we have people who will be enrolled into schools, so that the number of enrollment of our children to school will be very high, and that will reduce the level or the number of children who are out of school. Success, I can give it to them. We are also very aggressive in assessing their faults. But most states were neither here nor there. And I said, education has become a political issue. Political how? You go to a state, the chief executive of that state tells you The education is number 1 priority, education number 2 priority, education number 3 priority. In fact, the only priority of his administration is education. Then you have with UBEC, not less than 4 billion, unassessed. How then has education become number 1 priority and the only priority? So for me, the whole thing became a political. You see, and that is the major thing. It's assessing of the, as I left, I'm sure not less than 50 billion unassessed. I know a lot of states. I know about 10 states in the north that have completely assessed their funds completely, and you feel happy. So if the states are able to assess their funds, it's a matter of paying their counterpart fund. If you have 4 billion, you bring 4 billion, that makes it 8 billion, and then the money is given to you.
I like to believe, well, it's a belief that if you do get to become governor, education will probably be a priority agenda for you.
Education should be priority.
The experience we have gathered.
Education should be priority for anybody, because you can't talk about development without education. You cannot. How do you move on without education? So it's not a question of should be. You have no choice, but that is what should be. So it's not a question it should be. That is what it's supposed to be. So the issue of it should be is neither here nor there. If you want your state to develop, if you want the country to develop, education should be the priority, but not the priority, not the political priority, but priority in the whole sense of priority.
Okay. Let's get back to politics. Yes. Is there anything I left out in education? I'm not so sure. Well, the polytechnics and the colleges of education didn't get much attention from you while you were supervising the entire ministry. Why was that so?
That is not correct. You see, the people, like I said, people try to play politics and everything. The strike has been on. What were they demanding for? Their contest 12 or whatever, that this has been old before this government came, and the government agreed they will pay. I and the Prime Minister took the risk I've never taken in life. Without the approval of my boss, certain times you should be able to take a decision. And then own up to your boss, you need to take this decision for us to move forward. And I said, listen, it is not possible that the whole of this money can be given now. What I think we should do, let's agree, it should be paid instrumental. And they told me that they would accept. However, they will go back to their executive to inform them. I made a memo to Mr. President that this is what we have agreed, which was very risky. Luckily for me, they wrote that they were not accepting that offer we made. I said, hey, God is on my side. so they rejected it. And the whole thing, when the new minister was appointed, and I looked at them the next day, they said they've called off the strike. That I'm hearing again now, they say, they're going back to the strike. Yeah. So it is not correct that no attention was given to them. It's not correct.
All right, let's get back to politics, because that's very crucial here. You've collected the forms. You didn't pick it. Some elders pick it on your behalf. I saw Senator Adawari Pepu there. Who else did I say? Chief Ferdinand Alabaraba. I think it was at a point. Was it PDP chairman? I can't remember.
No, it was chairman of UBA.
Okay.
United Bank for Africa.
Okay. Yeah, but no doubt you said that you have accepted the offer to give it a shot.
No.
But how do you see yourself running against the odds? First of all, you are running to be governor in a state where the person you want to take over from is from the same senatorial district from you, in a state that has 3 senatorial districts, in a state where upland versus riverine sentiment is very high, in a state where the Equatorians, that's your stock, have been in power now. By the time Governor Amechi completes his tenure, they would have been in power for almost, at least starting from Odili, that would have been 26 years or so. No, sorry, 16 years. 8 of Odili, 8 of Amechi. Do you think that it is equitable for another Ikwere man to take over where you have the Ogonis, where you have the Calabaris, where you have the Ijos?
Now, first of all, I don't know that all the ladies are the Korean today.
Yeah, it's for Bobland. It's for Bobland.
You see, this is the problem we have. This is the problem we have. Some people, if you look at those who are arguing this, for me, I'm a party person. I stand by whatever the party has said. And the party Rivers State has said, we, during the peculiar circumstance we find ourselves, we are PDP won election and the governor has defected. We are not like an opposition party, facing the ruling party, which is APC. Therefore, we must allow it open to allow those who have the capacity to face this government. That's what the position of the party. If you also look at those who are saying, no, we should do zoning, some of them, depending on the environment they are, they say it's based on upland and riverine. Depending on the environment they are, they say, no, it's on ethnic nationalities. So it depends on where they find themselves. If they are going to mind where they are talking, they say it's on ethnic nationalities, Ogoni should have. When they have no Ogoni mind there, if they are only Calabar people, they say, no, it's based on ethnic, it's based on upland and riverine. Now, I want to tell you the simple truth, and that is that if as I'm running this election today, delegates will cut across the 22 local governments. Not correct?
That's correct.
These delegates are not. That's correct. These delegates will come from Calabari. These delegates will come from Opopo. These delegates will come from Boni. These delegates will come from Andoni. They are delegates from all these areas, right? Now, what it means is that to show that they are not acceptable, what it means is that it's only the delegates from the Kwere area, for example, that should vote for me. Look at those who brought the form to me.
Adawari Pepper
Chief,
is not Kwere.
I'm coming. Chief Fede Anababa is former chairman of UBA. Is not one of the people you respect in the state. The Minister of Sports, from one of the people who politically will respect in the state. Adawari Pepper from Opopo, former senator, one of the people you respect. Chief Owe Tete from Andoni, the state rep in NDDC. The EDF of NDDC from Abua. David Briggs from Agutoro. Name them. Look at the Ogonis. Kenneth Kobani, Dumdeko, all of them. These are PDP leaders in their very local governments. So what one expects that, if it is what you are saying is bad, that you ought not to run. Obviously, you wouldn't see this level of people to even buy the form and send the form to me to run election. One of the reasons that made me to accept, because before now I've asked questions and I've asked them. Look at it from local government, because if you're a politician, what you ask yourself, if I come to Akukotoro local government, who are the politicians in PDP? Where do they stand? If I go to Asarato, who are the politicians in Asarato? Where do they stand? If I go to Eche, where are the politicians in PDP? Where do they stand? If you look at this local government and look at their leaders, tell me where they are. All of them are with me. All the members of the National Assembly in PDP are with me. All the House of Assembly members in PDP are with me. Are they all from Ikwere? They are not. All the federal commissioners, they are all with me. All the political leaders in each of the LGAs are with me. So what is the problem?
Okay, let's look at across the divide now. Let's assume that in the PDP there won't be much problem. But the River State of 1999, 2003, 2007, 2011 is a completely different River State now.
Yes.
It's a state that is in the hands of the opposition.
Yes.
Governmentally.
Yes.
If you become the PDP candidate, how do you see the PDP marching?
Let me tell you something today. In 1999 election, yes, it wasn't that easy between Dr. Peter Odle and Ebenezer Iskariar from Calabari, who ran under APP and Odle ran under PDP. The election was very tough. In fact, it was not concluded in the first day. Right? Now, after Odle emerged, PDP was in unity. PDP one family. And so it was easy to turn out all the number of voters you may want it. Right? Yeah. Now, in 2011, Abia Sakibo ran under ACN, Salet Nomeha ran under ABGA. Now, if you watch the vote we got from Mr. President, was far more than the one we got for the governorship. If you look at the data. Now, what does that tell you? What it tells you that, apart from one of the left, that unity was no longer there. Now, today, Amechi has gone to APC. Having gone to APC, it's a problem for PDP. And everybody thought, having left PDP, that is the end of PDP. Since November, we sat down. How do we build this party? Should this party die because the governor had left? No resources, no nothing. In fact, what's in the matter? The governor even wrote a demand notice that we should pack up from the PDP secretariat. That is government property. It took us some time to say no. We're in court, and the court gave us an injunction. You cannot remove them. This is a property. It belongs to PDP since 1999 that PDP from the government. So you cannot come now because you have left PDP. You are giving out a quit notice. So the point I'm making, this party has been built to the point that nobody imagined it. As I speak to you today, PDP has offices in the 319 wards. I don't know of any state that can boast of that. And that is why you see everybody clamoring. Rivers State is a PDP state. I agree, in terms of resources, the governor has it. But this election has nothing to do with resources. It's an election that has to do that. How many times will you deceive the people? It will be difficult for anybody to tell you in Rivers State, no matter how you look at it. It will not be a walkover, like I said, but PDP will still win in Rivers State. What will you tell any Rivers person not to vote for Mr. President? What will you tell anybody? No amount of blackmail, no amount of lies you will tell people and they will tell you yes. No, they will still vote for Mr. President. So for us, it will not be as easy as anybody may say, but I can tell you as a politician, the election, PDP will win the election, presidential election and governorship election, because the party is still on ground. And that is why you see in APC, who has a collected form, is a one-man party. But in PDP, I hear from the last count, over 15-20 people, an opposition party, over 15-20 people are collecting forms. That tells you the party is still on ground. And like I've said, it is not a do or die affair. What it matters is that after the primaries, whoever that emerges, take for example, if I don't win, can it be that I will volunteer to be the campaign manager? I will volunteer to do that if I don't win. And I also expect, if I win, those of them who may have lost out should be part of what we're doing to show that you're a party person. Because it is not proper when you say, oh, if Wike emerges. You're also telling Wike, if you emerge, I should not give you that support. That's anti-party.
All right, so much to talk about, but let's leave it here because we are beginning to navigate into the core campaign areas. But I'm sure we will find time to bring you back maybe when the campaigns start properly. For now, we are just okay with what we have been able to offer this morning. Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Chief Barrister Nyesom Wike is a PDP governorship aspirant in Rivers State, the immediate past Minister of State for Education, former Supervisor Minister for Education as well. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benga. It's a pleasure.
All right. That's Focus Nigeria this Thursday. When we come back tomorrow, of course, we will be advancing democracy in Nigeria further. My name is Benga Aruleba. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you for investing your time with us.
Dear President Dr.
Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR. From your divinely orchestrated ascension to the office of president, we have seen a constant transformation in every facet of our nation. This is why Nigerian top celebrities, in collaboration with the Network for Defense of Democracy and Good Governance, NDDGG, an initiative of the Igbiri Papa Leadership Foundation, presents the Solidarity Concert for Goodluck 2015. It's a night of great entertainment as we call on our president to seek a second term in office. It's happening live on the 18th of October 2014 at Hotel Presidential Port Harcourt, on the 8th of November 2014 at the Gabriel Okara Cultural Center, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. And in Abia State is the 29th of November at Coping Society of Nigeria, World Bank Low Cost Housing Estate, Umahia, featuring Duncan Mighty, Jay Martins, Idris Abdukarim, Oba Omega, Pato Rankin, Too Short, Rothcoin, Rhymesol, Mr. Robinson, Stereo Man, Kikis, FL Zagasa, Slow Dog, TJ Two Solo, Rekoba, Olishafemi, King Solo, Face, Kelly Handsome, Mamuzi, Diabees, Ijo Boys All Stars, Arthur Pepple, Terry G, Frank Dinero, Clink the Drunk, Arise Baba, KO Baba, DJ Blaze, and many more. At the gate, it's free! Security guarantee. For more info, call Kikis 0803-580-4741 or Stella 0806-506-2440. Come, let's enjoy great entertainment as we seek a transformed Nigeria. NDDGG, in good governance we stand.
In collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Culture and Tourism and the World Fashion Organization, Going Green 3. Are you a fashion designer? Do you manufacture bags, cosmetics, hair buns, and other lifestyle?
For the governor. Seriously, they are on the floor.
When your team is not doing very well, when the management is not good, when the chances to win are not there, you can move from Arsenal to Liverpool.
Ideology is what differentiates a political party from the other.
Democracy is the wheel in which is spread out the tentacle, the wheel of opportunity for people to have other political parties where they can ventilate their position.
And when they are talking of the reasons behind their jumping, to use a language apology, they don't even make reference to the fact that the party has derailed from its ideology. No.
Our examinations, there are rewards of our good deeds, and there are punishments for what we have done that is wrong.
Those who have turned their backs to God and the teachings of Christ are then going to be condemned in eternal fires of hell.
There is judgment. He always mentions Yawma Idin, and sometimes he describes himself as Malik Yawmiddin, the master of the day of judgment.
Don't give birth to cost generational greatness. Covenant people don't give birth to riffraffs. As a confirmation of this message, after tonight, a difference shall be made between you and your friends who don't know God, and between you and those who don't have a relationship with God. You believe that? Say a louder amen.